What do you think are some of the biggest things that stop people from actually even getting started in the first place?
I think people just have this idea in their head that everything is harder than it actually is. Don't try and make the perfect move, just aim for a good move. I'm a massive believer in this. When you actually think about it, you don't need to spend much time thinking. As you start taking the first step, the path will reveal itself.
The amount of people that I end up meeting and they're like, oh yeah, I have to go back to the UK now, fuck, and they're dreading it. And I'm like, bro, just move. It's actually not that difficult.
Yeah.
Especially when you're running an online business. Granted, if you have been running an online a business in the UK or wherever for years, and you got loads of tax and all these things and complicated corporate structures, and it's not so easy to just move. But if you're just starting out and you're making around 10, 15K, it's pretty easy to move to Dubai or anywhere.
100%. I think people just have this idea in their head that everything is harder than it actually is. Like if you just go search online how to move to Dubai, there'll be 100 articles showing you this company, that company that helps you set up. I was just talking to your cameraman and he was just telling me he's in the middle of that process and he just said a company is helping him do it. He's moved here a month ago. Like everything's so easy. But people overthink it, man, and they're like, maybe it's not gonna work out, maybe I'm gonna get scammed, but you're getting scammed living a life you don't wanna live.
You know, one thing I always love seeing on Twitter is from you is like, think less, do more. It's such a simple concept.
Do more, think less. But yeah, same thing.
Oh, yeah. But like, that's all it comes down to.
Yeah, man.
I swear. I know it seems so simple and it sounds simple, but just fucking do it. Just do it. Stop overthinking things. And eventually, you'll do something and it doesn't quite work to your how you wanted it to, etc. But then you learn from it and then you go do it again. And then so many people over fucking complicate things before they actually launch it. So think, name a business like e-commerce, right? Okay, e-commerce makes sense. I see these guys making loads of money, etc., etc. And then they're like, right, I need to build a website. Then I need to find a product. And then they spend like 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks thinking about the website, changing it up, etc. When the next man, who's technically dumber, just finds it, goes, all right, well, click this, click there, ads, let's send traffic to it, let's just try it out.
100%. All business is just sales and marketing. You know, it's like literally have a product to sell, have some people who want to buy it. The 1 or 2 people who buy it, ask them what made you buy, double down on that. Like if they all said they bought this e-com product, they bought this t-shirt because they like the way it fits, well then focus on the fit in the marketing. Say this is the best fitting tank top you've ever seen. Or if they like the color, say we're bringing out more colors, we're gonna come out with more colors like this, blah, blah, blah. And I feel like it's so simple.
What do you think are some of the biggest things that stop people from actually even getting started in the first place?
Bro, it's 100% because they're trying to think 50 moves ahead. And this is, whenever I feel overwhelmed in my day, it always is because I'm trying to do 10 things at once. And Danny, my brother, who's also behind the camera, he says all the time that you can only do one thing at once. Like you can literally only do one thing. So right now I'm fully focused on this podcast or video, whatever you want to call it. I'm doing this, then I worry about everything else. And I think most people are like, okay, if I move to Dubai, who am I going to have as friends? You know, am I going to go out a lot? Is it safe? Is it this? And they're thinking like 20 moves ahead. It's like, bro, just move. Of course you're going to meet friends. You know, it's very easy to make friends.
Yeah, step by step.
Yeah, what's your thoughts on that?
No, exactly the same thing. I do group coaching calls every single week, right, with my community. And I understand why, but most of them are like, hey, bro, so I just started a week ago. I don't have any clients yet, but just a quick question, bro. How do I actually onboard 6 clients at the same time? And it's like, brother, great question. I will answer it. But just before that, just so you know, why the fuck are you worrying about that right now? First of all, think about outreach and how to even set appointments in the first place. Then once you got onto some sales calls, etc., and you're ready to onboard a client, then you need to focus on that. It's the same thing as well, no matter what business. Same as like, for example, if you go back to e-commerce, right? You can take this with any business. It's like, okay, how do I scale my ads? Brother, what's your product? Oh, I don't know yet, but bro,
they worry so much about the logo or the website or their taxes or the bank account they're going to take the money into. It's like, you don't even know what you want to sell. You literally smoke weed every single day. You're an alcoholic. You live with your parents. You wake up at 7 p.m. Like everything's a mess. Focus on the fundamentals first.
I tell you one more thing that stops most people, in my opinion, is the fear of failure, or more so, you can extrapolate it even more. It's the fear of judgment once failure occurs. Failure is guaranteed. I can guarantee you, me and you have failed more times than every single person combined.
I've tried even. Yeah, 100%. And I think the way to look at it is instead of telling yourself, what they try to do, I feel like a lot of people try to avoid failure altogether. They're like, maybe I can just, if I move like this and I take this certain path, the path of least resistance, maybe I'm going to avoid failure. But it's like, even if you try and do all this zigzagging, you're still going to fail. So it's better just to like jump in the deep end, jump in that pool, even if you can't swim. Your friend will help you. He'll give you a life jacket. You'll be all right.
And then the fear of other people's judgment once a failure does occur, it's like, bro, who fucking cares? As long as you have good intentions and you're not doing something on purpose to fuck others over, who cares?
You know, I just want to add to that point. But we were just talking before this podcast started about one of your business partners. I've had a business partner that I don't speak to as much anymore. And we were just talking about how when you don't even do business with a certain person you used to do business with, even then you don't speak to that person as much and you're not really too bothered what they've got going on in their life because you're so busy with your own problems. So if someone that you were previously once super close to, you're not even checking up on them every fucking 5 seconds and no one's actually thinking about you.
But you boys can literally see in real life, whenever you guys are going through your day-to-day, scrolling through social media, whatever, looking at whatever's happening online. Like, I'll give you an example, right? I don't know if you know FX Alex G. He's like this big trading guy, right, in America. He's absolutely one of the best marketers in the world. And I don't know much about trading, but by the looks of it, he's very, very good at what he does, right? Now, he was always against like selling signals and all this thing, right? He finally put this thing together and he was like, right, I've been working on this for like 4 years, and he genuinely was, and all this thing. And he was like, right, I'm finally launching this. I'm going to sell you guys the best signals, blah, blah. I think it was a free group anyway. He launches it, bro. I don't know if you've seen what happened. It was a miss after miss after miss. Every single trade for like 9 weeks in a row was in the red, which is like unheard of.
When was this recently?
Recently, it's actively happening right now. He actually just left that whole situation, right?
Wow.
Anyway, the reason why I'm bringing this up is because if you boys think in his point of view, he probably feels like the world is crumbling underneath his feet right now, right? Because he has built this thing for 4 years and he was saying he's never going to do it, but he's finally doing it because he's finally cracked it and it's so good. Trust me, guys, blah, blah. And he launches it and it's like beyond a failure. No disrespect to the guy, it's just genuinely, right? But like it absolutely went to shit, right? And if you were to put yourself in his shoes, he's got hundreds of thousands of people talking shit about him online right now, right? He's still carrying on. And that's a mistake which you guys couldn't even comprehend. And I think that's another thing, move on to the next topic, which is when you're just starting out, you're so worried about the smallest little things. Like you set a meeting and you're like, oh, what if she doesn't show up? What if the client doesn't show up? But then eventually 2 years down the line, you're like, I couldn't give a fuck. I got so many more other clients, right? But then 2 years later down the line, you're worried about moves that might cost you $100,000. And all of a sudden your risk tolerance is a lot higher. I think risk tolerance is such an interesting topic.
It's just everything gets normalized, right? If you look at all the messed up things in society, they're trying to normalize so many things. Same thing in business though, if you're around people richer than you, it's gonna normalize. Like, we both have Richard Milles. I know you're not wearing yours now, but we both have RMs. So now, to your cameraman, that's more normal than, for example, to some dude in England in the same town as him, Ipswich or whatever, who's never seen an RM. It's like, when you're around certain things, it gets normalized. I'm not sure if the camera can see those cars in the background, but there's a Lambo there, there's a Rolls Royce. I have cars as well, you have cars, we've been normalized to these things. Like everything in Dubai is just cars, money, money, money. So when you put yourself in the right environment, all these things become so normal. Same thing with risk tolerance. Like, bro, most people are scared to invest a few $100s in themselves. Most people try and go and get the cheapest food, the cheapest gym membership, the cheapest rent, the cheapest bed, the cheapest mattress. Like, you're just compromising yourself.
I don't know about you, but my family, my mother was always like this. And you probably know how much I love my mother. She is my world, right? But she was always in this mindset. And I get it. She literally comes from absolutely nothing, right? So our entire life has always been, here's this thing, what's the cheapest version of that thing? The cheaper, the better, right? And we'd always do that. Exactly like I said, mattresses, furniture, cars. I remember my stepdad bought this Ford KA, I believe, right? Literally a tiny little beetle of a car. It was like, I don't know, 400 pounds, whatever, right? Now, the funny thing is, the amount of times that car spent in the garage getting fixed and so on, changing tires, changing oil, changing the fucking engine, whatever, it actually cost him way more money than he would have just spent 1.5, 2,000 pounds on a decent car.
It's always like that though.
Yep.
You know, it's like, what do they say? Pay cheap, buy it twice, or something like that. Buy cheap, buy it twice.
Exactly that.
You know, it's just like, there's no shortcuts. I think most people are trying to, like I said, they're trying to zigzag their way into like this perfect position. But it leads on to another point, which is the whole do more, think less philosophy, which is don't try and make the perfect move. Just aim for a good move. I'm a massive, massive believer in this. Because Danny and I, so like I said, Danny's my brother. We were talking about this a few days ago. We said, we have like 50 plans for summer that we could do. I could ship my cars all to England and live in a big manor village type thing in England. I could go to Monaco. I could go to South America, do a tour. I could go to China and do a streaming tour like I Should Speed. I could do podcasts every day with you in Dubai. I could go film videos in front of like there's literally 50 things. We literally listed them all out the other day. And I said to Danny, like, any single one of these moves would be pretty good. So the only real thing is just choose something as quickly as possible and just get on with it. Now, there are some things that are bad moves. Like, for example, if I shave both of my eyebrows off and I cut my arm off, well, then that's a bad move, obviously. But besides that, besides things that are majorly obvious, I think everything's pretty good, man.
Yeah.
If you go to the gym, it doesn't really matter which routine you go and do. It's all relatively the same. Same thing with business. You choose e-com, you choose OnlyFans, you choose sales, you choose personal brand, you choose TikTok shop. If you work hard 16 hours a day, you're 100% going to succeed in anything.
Yeah, I think Hamosi said, I watched a podcast of his like a long time ago, and he said there's basically three main, well, first of all, this is the philosophy that he has, right? Is do better, do more, and only then, once you feel like you've maxed out on doing better and doing more of what's already working, only then do something new.
100%.
But what's interesting is everybody chooses the third one. Everybody.
100%.
Just new thing. What about this? New. Because it's the like fear of missing out on the opportunity, right?
Yeah.
What if it does work? But in most cases it doesn't.
Shiny object syndrome.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like we all have done it at some points of our life, you
Yeah.
know. Sometimes I catch myself even doing it in certain areas of my life and I'm like, what am I doing?
Yeah.
Stick to the basics.
Yeah.
And this is the thing for everyone watching this video. No matter which level you get to, like we're both millionaires, no matter which level you get to, you still have to remind yourself of the basics.
Yep.
It's like if you look at the best fighter, Tyson Fury, all he's doing in training is just 1-2, 1-2, 1-2. Like he just keeps practicing the jab and the right shot.
Yep.
And then he's like practicing dodging, slipping, running. It's like, it's the basics that the amateur would do, that the guy who's done his first training session would do as well. So it's like everything works. You just have to do more of it.
Yeah.
And I think another problem is people underestimate actually how much volume we're talking about. You know, you just gave me a tour of your house. Super nice, by the way. Marcus lives in a sick place. But he showed me his setup. He's got his cameraman and editor down with him. He's got his business partner there. And you're just locked in. Like, you don't go out too much. You're locked in. You're focused on your work. Like, if any of you had that setup, even if you don't think you're as smart, even if you don't think you're not as lucky for whatever reason, you will also become rich. Like, there's no way it won't work. Cause and effect is the most powerful thing.
Yeah.
It's a universal law.
Yeah.
It's like saying gravity doesn't exist. Like, I really believe cause and effect is just a universal law.
Yeah.
Like, if you jump in that pool, you're going to fall in the pool.
Yeah.
Nothing's
Yeah.
going to stop you from not falling.
You know Sam Ovens, of course, yeah?
Yeah, like OG guy.
Yeah. So in one of his old courses, he really extrapolated this point and he made it visual, right? About cause and effect.
Okay.
And essentially is like, imagine it literally like this, right? This weekend, all you boys have two options, right? Either go out and party and celebrate or stay in work, right? Or improve yourself, go to the gym, etc. As an example, right? Now, let's just say you choose to, hey, it's just a weekend. My boys asked me to go out. I'm just going to go for a little drink, whatever. You go out for a drink, another boy comes and then, shots. Before you know it, you're going to the next club and blah, blah. Before you know it, you get back home at 3 a.m, you're drunk, you order some pizza, you eat the pizza, leave it on the floor, whatever, and then on the desk, whatever, and then you go to sleep and then you wake up the next morning, right? That's your action, right? That's the goals. What's the effect? Now, you might think, it's not that deep, Marcus. I'm just going to be a little bit hangy on Sunday or whatever. I'll get back to it on Monday. No, my friend, what's actually going to happen is the Sunday, you're going to be hanging the whole fucking day. You're going to be laying in bed, not doing fuck all because you've got a headache. You're not going to plan for the week ahead. Secondly, your bedroom's now a mess. You've got pizzas here. Everything is a mess. You probably were sick as well. Your clothes stink. And then by Monday, you think that you're fresh. You're not. You're still probably going to wake up late. And even if you do wake up on time, you're
Groggy,
still like
yeah.
tired, groggy. Yeah. And you didn't plan ahead, which normally on a Sunday you probably would have. So all of a sudden, this one little action of going out and thinking it doesn't matter, it matters a fucking
Chain
lot.
effect. It's chain effect. And then you start feeling insecure because you're like, oh, my competitors, the people that I'm trying to do better than or just match their level, they spent the Sunday recovering and actually planning ahead for the week and actually like getting their mind right, or maybe studying, learning a new skill. Maybe they spent 3 hours learning AI. It's like the person who spends, because this leads on to another point, which is everyone has this idea that like work can finish. They have this idea that like, oh, I've done all my work for today. It's like there's always something else you can do.
Yeah.
You can, like we were just saying this now, you were looking at new furniture to buy, or your girlfriend was, whatever. The point is like, you can spend 3 hours learning AI, you can learn a new language, then you can start marketing your product in a different language. Imagine we could speak fluent French. Now we can make French vlogs, French YouTube videos. You could read a book about hiring team members.
Review some sales calls, review some appointment setters, look at your team, look at what's going good, look at your KPIs, review your own videos, go through all the videos if you're posting YouTube content or whatever, what's performing, what isn't, why is it performing, what was the thumbnail, what was the title.
Get more testimonials.
Yeah, literally, bro. So again, do more, do better, and only then you can do actually new stuff.
But I truly think like, the reason why I always say do more, think less, is because if you just keep doing more, you're naturally just gonna have all the ideas like the idea will just get forced into your brain. It's not like you have to consciously think, what's the right move here? Like I always say this to people. I say, you can think when you're eating your dinner. You can think in the shower. Like when you actually think about it, you don't need to spend much time thinking. As you start taking the first step, the path will reveal itself. And I use this analogy a lot. I say, if you're driving a car late at night, your headlights will only show you 100 or 200 meters in front of you. Let's say you're planning on driving a 10-mile journey. You can't see 10 miles down the road. But as you drive the first 100 meters, now you can see the next 100 meters, now the next 100 meters, now the next 100 meters, you know? So the path reveals itself as you start driving. Just fucking start.
And even to add on top of that analogy, right? It's if you're driving and you're looking to the right, well, you're not gonna fuck it, you're gonna drive to the right eventually, right?
Good
so
point.
it's again where you're focusing, right? Where you're focused, it's the same thing.
Great point. I've never explained the analogy like that, but yeah, that's much better, like to add on to that. 100%. You guys, you're trying to drive, you're like, Hassan, I've started, but then after 2 seconds, you're looking this way, you swerve and crash, and then you're like, this car's broken. The car was fine. The vehicle, the business model was completely fine.
If others have done it, like me and you, why can't you? Me and you are no fucking different. Yeah, sure, now, this is the annoying thing.
Our work ethic is different though. We have to make that clear.
What's that?
Like, we are different in the sense of we try harder. It's just that we're not born different.
Yeah, but this is the annoying thing, right? Is now they obviously see this, they see our lifestyle and all these things. So yeah, it's easier for you guys to say because you have all the followers and this lifestyle, etc. Me and you never fucking had this shit. We weren't born with this. And if none of you guys believe us, go check on all of our social medias and scroll back for fucking hours and you'll see it. But the other thing as well is, right, we're talking about, okay, your focus, if you just do this thing, do more of it, do better, think less, you'll do it. But in order to do that, you must sacrifice other things. We all have 24 hours in a day. It might seem like me and you get done so much more, but that's because now we're able to delegate work because we have money. With money, you're able to buy other people's time and so on and so on. But when you're just starting out, because I had 400 pounds to my name when I first started, like this little online business of SMA and all that shit, right? When you don't have money, you have to then sacrifice certain things to gain more time, and then you trade that time for more money. So think about all you guys watching at home. What can you get rid of that is just wasting time? And for some of you motherfuckers, it might be a 3.5 hour morning routine. When you're dead broke, who gives a fuck about your infrared sauna and your ice bath and your journaling and your visualization? Yes, to an extent, it's good in a way, but not every day for 3 hours. Just wake up, you know what you need to do, 3 things, 3 core things, get those done, then you can fucking journal or whatever you want to do.
Yeah, confidence will come as you start walking the path, as we just said. It's like if you wake up in the morning and straight away you open your laptop and do those 3 things you're talking about, your confidence is going to build. And I think a lot of people look at us and think, oh yeah, but it's going to take a lot of time, and how do I stay disciplined on that path? But I don't think it takes a lot of time, and I'll tell you why. Sure, maybe it takes a lot of time to buy a Lambo or a Ferrari, whatever, but it does not take a lot of time to start progressing. We always talk about this. I use this analogy a lot. I say, if you start eating 10,000 calories a day, instantly your body just puts on body fat and you get fat, because your body just can't use the 10,000 calories unless you're doing a marathon or Michael Phelps, right? So it's instant feedback, it's instant reaction, cause and effect, right? If you jump in the pool, instantly you get wet. It doesn't take time to get wet. You know what I'm trying to say? So it's kind of the same thing with business. If you instantly start working 15 hours a day and you instantly start trying your best, not 15, why? I always just exaggerate. It can even be 7 and you just focused, you'll instantly start improving. Now, you're not going to instantly get money because it takes time to build up an audience or to build up your brand. For example, if it's an e-com brand, it takes time for people to know this t-shirt is your brand, this is how much it costs, this is the website. It takes time. But what I'm saying is you're going to get better at running ads. You're going to get better at delegating and outsourcing. You're going to get better at becoming more resilient to stress. You're going to become better at spending money and investing into the right things. You're going to become a better identifier of who's a snake, who's loyal. You're going to become better at all these things. So just start.
It does come with a level of patience, because I think nowadays, me and you know, back when, nowadays, for example, 16, 17, 18-year-old kids, right? They are used to next day delivery, TikTok doom scrolling, instant gratification.
I think it might be harder for them.
That's what I'm saying. So yes, I agree, but there definitely is a level of patience that you guys need to train yourselves with. For me, I've been very, very, very fortunate. I don't know, I honestly don't know how. I wish, if I did know, I would tell you, but I've always had it. I always understood the next 2, 3, 4, 5 years ahead. So like what I'm doing right now, I know I'm really going to get the results in months, if not years. But especially for people who are starting out, they look at people like me and you or Hamosi or Iman or whoever, and they're like, well, I've been doing it for 3 months, because to them 3 months is a long time,
lifetime,
right? Yeah, it's a lifetime.
But it's also about the intensity, man.
Yes.
It's like you saying you went to the gym for 5 hours, but then in the gym you lifted at 10% of your max for 3 reps. everyone knows like the lighter the weight, the more repetitions you need to do, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, the point I'm trying to make is if you lifted 10% of your max for 3 reps, it was the easiest thing in the world. You'll never progress.
Yeah, yeah. But you seem like you spent such a long time.
Yeah.
So it's absolutely, the amount of
to up
effort.
the intensity.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, people try and do, intensity beats extensity. Most people are focused on being as wide as possible. They're like SMMA, drop shipping, e-commerce, personal
Pick
brand,
one.
OnlyFans, everything.
Yeah.
It's like pick one and just really lock in, man. Like 10 or 11 hours a day and you will beat everyone.
And you'll actually see, people like, I don't know, Elon Musk is an extreme example, but even like Iman, for example, right? Iman Gadzhi is an absolute genius when it comes to business as a whole, right? And a lot of you guys will look up to them and be like, okay, well, Iman's got 7 businesses or 8 or however many ventures and investments here and so on and so on. He's got like multiple streams of income. And you're like, okay, well, if that's the guy I'm looking up to and he's got all this, then I need to do that as well. Yes, but not at the moment when you're starting out. When you're just starting out, you're going to find success a lot faster if you just stick to one thing. And even when we're talking about one thing, for example, you can extrapolate it even deeper. If you're talking about e-commerce as an example, find that one product and really scale the fuck out of it. 100%. SMMA, for example, find that one niche. If you're working with, I don't know, car dealerships, just solely work with car dealerships and you'll scale way faster than trying to work with that, hair salons, chiropractors, and all these different things. So yeah, it's about intensity. It's about how much effort you actually put into it. And then the other analogy that I always give, I think I said this before on a podcast with you, is every single person, if you guys think of one of the greatest people ever in any industry, sports, music, actor, whatever, right? Think of the GOAT, right? Now, you got that person in your mind. Think how long that person has been doing that thing for. Probably longer than you've been alive for, right? Most of you guys. Like, actually realize that. That is insane. Right? So in order to become to that level, it's just repetition after repetition. And it does get easier. It gets more fun. It gets easier to an extent. Like there's always problems. There's always risk. Like me and you take risk now every single day. And there's more problems and bigger problems every single day now than what we started. But it becomes a lot easier because we have a lot of money behind our backs where it's like, okay, if it doesn't work out,
we're not going to go hungry.
Yeah.
100%. But I think just because we have to wrap up in a second, I got to go, guys. But to wrap up everything we've said, I think it really just comes down to just start and don't overthink the moves you're going to make so much. Because you didn't know whenever you started a business, was it 4 years ago, 5 years ago?
5, 6, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. You didn't know 5 years ago you'd be living in this house. You'd have your friends with you. You have your girlfriend with you. You didn't even know your girlfriend 5 years ago, right? Like, things can change. Things can happen. So the point I'm trying to make is just take your first move, boys, and things will follow after that. And also, don't listen to people so much. Like, I say this a lot, man. People listen to their parents and I say, how old is your mom? They're like, 52. I'm like, okay. If a random 52-year-old lady came up to you on the street and said, don't do online business, would you care what that lady said? No. That's the same as your mum if she's not qualified in business. Now, I know that you can trust your mum fully because she's your mum. She has better intentions for you than the random lady on the street. But in terms of qualification and expertise, they're the same. So it's like, don't listen to your mom who's 52.
Yeah.
Same thing goes for your friends. Would you listen to a random 21-year-old on the street telling you don't do business? No. So just focus on you, bro. Make it happen. That's it.
And there's only 2 ways to really progress, right? It's either doing it for free by yourself and making a mistake, really self-analyzing, being 100% accountable and be like, okay, why did this fuck up? Or why did I fuck up? What can I learn from it? Or the second option is you simply invest into somebody who's already done that for years, right? You really make sure that person actually has done what they're talking about. Do deep research into them, speak or ask around, etc. If that person has done what you would like to do, then simply invest into their mentorship, learn from them. Or again, if you don't have the money, just watch them on YouTube. Follow Hassan on Twitter and so on, right? Listen to these people because if they've done what you want to achieve, I'm sure there's a lot of lessons you can learn.
Let me just make one last closing thought or closing point. On Twitter, I checked the other day, I've done 42,000 tweets and we worked it out. That's literally like me writing one tweet every single day for 120 years, right? Like, think about that. That's crazy. So then people are like, how do you build a big audience? How do you have a big community or whatever? It's like,
there you go.
Bro, 42,000 tweets. Sure, you can come up with systems to be more efficient and blah, 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 but
it's repetition,
volume,
it's effort.
Bro.
Yeah, it's volume. Legend.
That's it, boys. I gotta go.
Hassan, pleasure.
Good seeing you, brother. Good
right.
seeing you.